bienvenidos a GCSE Spanish Practice. My name is Marina, and today we're going to take a look at topic 4, free time activities. We're going to take 5 typical questions and 5 typical answers that, as an examiner, I listen to every exam season, and then we're going to make them gradually a bit better. Okay, these work for both foundation and higher, and some bits in red will show you that that's extra level or something that is mostly likely to be said by a native. So you will see what a difference from the starting point to the end of that slide. Vamos. A ver. So if you know what we're doing, please skip forward and see the 5 questions. Otherwise, what are we doing? You know, in the read aloud section, you will read out loud a text, and then you will have 4 questions in the present tense that you will have to give answers to, and these are not prepared, okay? So you will practice over the years, and then when you get to your exam, you have to think on the spot. It is the same for the photo card section. After you have commented on the 2 photos that you can see, you will have the longest chunk of your exam, and you will have questions and answers. So the more you practice, the better it is. Now, let's try and do the same with typical answers, see how we can improve on them, okay? Here we go. So the first question is, ¿qué haces normalmente en tu tiempo libre? ¿Qué haces normalmente en tu tiempo libre? Which is, what do you normally do in your free time? There are different ways of asking this. ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? What do you like doing? But essentially, it's the same answer. Say what you like doing normally when you have a day off or a weekend or something like that. So, typical answer. If we are lucky, en mi tiempo libre voy al parque con mis amigos. I've listened to this sentence so many times. In my free time, I go to the park with my friends, which is fine, okay? And maybe it's what you do, and that's absolutely fine. But we need to extend, we need to give at least 3 phrases, okay? So how can we make this better? En mi tiempo libre, voy al parque con mis amigos and provide a reason, porque es divertido, okay? That's one step further. Foundation, you should do this. Higher, you must do this. Okay, and then we go on to saying something else. So, en mi tiempo libre, in my free time, when the weather's nice, okay? I don't think you go to the park when it rains. So we can say, en mi tiempo libre, cuando hace buen tiempo, voy al parque con mis amigos porque es divertido. Brilliant, okay. We have 3 sentences here, 3 phrases. That's good. That covers the extended sort of answer that we are aiming for. However, we might want to say something else. What do you do when the weather's not nice? Or, so let's see. So to finish this whole idea of going to the park, why do you like it? Me gusta pasar tiempo con mis amigos porque es divertido. We're at the park, so I like to spend time with my friends because it is fun. That's why we go to the park, because the weather's nice, okay? So that would be a much more complete answer. Now, what do we do when the weather's not nice? Si hace mal tiempo, okay, and this is extension higher, you should be looking at this. What do you do? Suelo ir al polideportivo con mi mejor amigo. Okay, so you go to a place with somebody. I tend to, plus infinitive. Suelo ir, suelo visitar, suelo hacer. So I tend to go to the sports centers with my best friend. Okay, and what do you do there? Or why? Porque nos gusta practicar badminton y tenis de mesa, because we like both. Nos gusta, we both like practicing badminton and table tennis. Okay, and there's a gap here. Okay, this is red because it's more advanced with the nos gusta in the plural. And then there's a gap here, and we can still add something else, although this is a brilliant answer. And I went for more nos gusta hablar y hacer bailes juntos, to refer to the first part, when the weather's nice. Okay, so what do you like doing when you're at the park? Nos gusta, we like, my friends and I like, nos gusta hablar, to talk, y hacer bailes juntos, and do those little like TikToks, dances together, whatever it is you like to do, but together, juntos, ¿vale? So there you go. We went from en mi tiempo libre voy al parque con mis amigos to saying all of these by saying, okay, what are my choices? When the weather's nice, but what do I do when the weather's not so nice? What do we like to do there and why? Okay? So lovely, lovely extended answer. That is also good for writing, not only speaking. Right. Question 2. ¿Qué tipo de deportes te gustan? ¿Qué tipo de deportes te gustan? So what type of sports do you like? Very often I hear me gusta el fútbol, and then because it's fun, porque es divertido, ¿vale? We're just gonna go with me gusta el fútbol y la natación and take it from there. This is only one sentence, okay? We aim for 3 sentences, so let's see what else we can add. Me gusta el fútbol y la natación personalmente. Personally, everybody can say this. En mi opinión becomes personalmente, pienso que, so personally, I think that todos los deportes son buenos para ti. Personally, I think that all sports are good for you, meaning for your health, for your mental health, physical and mental health, okay? That would be a really good sentence to add. We could argue these are 3 sentences, but just add some more, okay? Say what you do regarding football. Me gusta el fútbol. Juego con mis amigos todos los días en el recreo. I play with my friends every day during break time. Okay? Y la natación. And then we could continue again with that bit. What other ways are there to move on with this and make it longer and more complex if you're aiming for higher? Saying what else you like, okay? So, me gusta el fútbol, juego con mis amigos todos los días en el recreo y también me gustan los deportes individuales como la natación. So, providing an example, illustrating your point. So, not only you like football, you also like individual sports such as natación, swimming, okay? And then continuing with this statement there, we can make it even more complex by saying, me gusta mucho el deporte. Mi deporte de equipo favorito es el fútbol. So I like sports a lot. My favorite team sports is football. And then continue, we just said. And then have it on contrast between deporte de equipo y deportes individuales. Okay, so that shows a wider range of vocabulary. It shows that you have those structures in your head on the ready. Okay, and then finally, here there's something else to make it even more complex. Saying when los fines de semana juego con mi equipo. So you like team sports, your favorite one is football, you play with your friends every day at break time, at the weekends you play with your team, okay? And then continue with the rest of it. So you can see how we went from me gusta el fútbol y la natación to basically saying, okay, I like team sports, I like individual sports. I'll give you an example. I tell you who with I go to play, when, okay? So that is providing more information. Next bit. ¿Qué tipo de música escuchas? ¿Qué tipo de música escuchas? Again, types of music. So we want to give different alternatives. Something that I get to listen to a lot is mi tipo favorito es la música trap or hip hop or rap. And then maybe something like porque es emocionante. I added here creo que es emocionante because otherwise my paragraph wouldn't make sense. But here we go. So my favorite type is trap music because because it is exciting. Okay, that's a very good sentence. We have 2 sentences. We need one more we're aiming at 3 sentences. So we're gonna add, for example, something to give us time. Pues depende. Okay, maybe music depends on the mood. Pues depende. Mi tipo favorito es la música trap. Creo que es emocionante. We can say why. Why is trap music your favorite? Porque me gusta el ritmo. El ritmo is such an easy word to remember. Okay, it's like rhythm. Me gusta el ritmo. I like the rhythm. So I like it because I like the rhythm and I think it's exciting. Y creo que es emocionante. Vale, these are your 3 phrases. You should be good with this, but maybe we want to add something else. Y las letras de las canciones. I like the rhythm and the lyrics of the songs. Y las letras de las canciones. Creo que es emocionante. Brilliant answer so far, but still, we always can add something else. When or how often do you listen to this music? Well, if it's your favorite type of music, I would think maybe every day. Escucho a mis grupos favoritos todos los días. In Spanish, we listen to, okay? So escucho a mis grupos favoritos todos los días. I listen to my favorite bands every day. Is there anything else we could say? I can think of maybe in a different mood, maybe I listen to something else. So I'm just going to go and say, sin embargo, however, cuando estudio me gusta escuchar música instrumental. Cuando estudio me gusta escuchar música instrumental. However, when I study, or when I am studying, I like to listen to instrumental music. It means no lyrics. And maybe say why. Porque me ayuda. And I will stop here, and that would be understood because it helps me. It helps me to study. But I can say an advanced verb, me ayuda a concentrarme. It helps me concentrate or concentrating. Okay, me ayuda a concentrarme. So that would be an amazing answer. Número 4. ¿Prefieres ir al cine o ir de compras? So I give you two choices. Normally we could start with pues depende. And then typical thing I get is one thing, prefiero, and then one of the things, okay? So in this case, prefiero ir de compras con mis amigos al centro comercial. That would be a good sentence. I prefer to go shopping with my friends to the shopping center. Sorry about the spaces, but that's where the extra bits will go. So how can we improve on this? The first thing is maybe starting with pues depende or a ver, a ver. A ver means let's see. A ver, I'm thinking. You give me a choice, I'm thinking. A ver. And it's more impressive because it sounds like you've got that natural response, okay, that a native speaker like myself would say, like, a ver, give me some time to think. A ver. Prefiero ir de compras, pienso que ir con mis amigos es divertido, okay? This would work better saying, prefiero ir de compras, pienso que ir con mis amigos al centro comercial es divertido. So I'm saying what I prefer and why. Let's move on and say something else. Personalmente sounds way more important, okay? So personalmente, personally, is really easy to remember. Personalmente pienso que ir con mis amigos es divertido. If you are aiming higher and you're just getting time, okay, because remember, you're thinking of these answers on the spot. A ver, me gustan las dos opciones, pero prefiero, and then say one of them. Okay, and then you can say why. Let's keep on developing this answer. We're going to add something else. And this is why there was an awkward space here. Pero odio ir al centro comercial con mis padres. So we went from I prefer to go shopping with my friends to the shopping center to a ver, me gustan las dos opciones, pero prefiero ir de compras. Personalmente pienso que ir con mis amigos es divertido, pero odio ir al centro comercial con mis padres. But I hate going to the shopping center with my parents. I like shopping with my friends. I don't like shopping with my parents. Why? Why? Okay, then just stay there and say why. Why? Porque siempre compran mucha comida en el supermercado. Because they always buy a lot of food at the supermarket, which means a long time waiting for them to buy boring stuff like food. And then we add some slang, but completely appropriate words here. Es un rollo, which is literally, it is a roll. It is a roll means it's a drag, it's so boring. Es un rollo, okay? So it's dead. Es un rollo, ¿vale? We say it is a roll. And then finally, you can see such a long paragraph you're doing writing or speaking. We went from I prefer to go shopping with my friends in the shopping center to all of this. I like it with my friends, but I don't like it with my parents, and this is the reason. Okay, finally, número 5. ¿Qué hiciste la semana pasada en tu tiempo libre? ¿Qué hiciste la semana pasada en tu tiempo libre? This is a question in the past tense. It is not likely, it shouldn't come up in your read aloud section because it's only questions in the present tense. But in the general conversation after the photo card, those unexpected, unprepared questions and answers, you will have a range of tenses because you need to show a range of structures, okay? So, past tense question requires a past tense answer, okay? So, here we go. What did you do last week in your free time? La semana pasada fui al restaurante con mi familia. That's very good, and it's very, very highly, it's very likely for me to hear this again this exam season, and then somebody will say, oh, how was it? Fue muy divertido. It was a lot of fun. Last week I went to a restaurant with my family and it was a lot of fun. I want to know. If you don't tell me, I will continue asking questions like, okay, who did you go with? What did you do there? What did you eat there? It was fun. Why was it fun? What did you do that made it fun? And also, you're telling me about the restaurant. Maybe you did something else. So what else did you do? Okay, so we want to include all of that if we want a really well-developed answer. We're aiming at 3 phrases. Here we have 2. Okay, so let's add something else. What do you do? Para celebrar el cumpleaños de mi madre. To celebrate my mom's birthday. Perfect. 3 phrases. Very good. Okay, but we want to do more. Fue muy divertido. Okay, how was it fun? Porque organizamos una fiesta sorpresa. Remember, if you are unsure of how to express an idea in the past tense, if you say you did something with somebody else, the past tense in the we form is usually the same, usually, not always, okay? For AL verbs it is the same as the present tense. So organizar, organizamos in the past tense also is the same as the present. So because we organized a party, a surprise party, that's why it was fun. Okay. If you want to say I did something, then it's a bit more complicated. So, porque organizamos una fiesta sorpresa. What else? What else did you do? Comimos. Okay. Comer is not an AR verb, so it's different in the past tense. It's not like we eat, is we ate. Comimos comida deliciosa juntos. Juntos, I love this. Juntos, together. So we ate delicious food together. And something else. Después, también la tarta. So we are narrating here. We're telling what we did in what order. And after, después, also, we had cake. Okay? La tarta. What else did you do apart from the birthday party, which is really interesting, but I want to know more. ¿Hiciste algo más? Did you do anything else? Sí. Además, in addition, hice deporte y salí con mis amigos. I did sport or I exercised and I went out with my friends. And then something else. No estuvo nada mal. Typical thing that a native speaker would say, it wasn't too bad. No estuvo nada mal, ¿vale? Meaning it was good. No estuvo nada mal, ¿vale? No estuvo nada mal, but meaning it was really good. Okay, so those are your 5 questions with typical answers, but better. So you can use these to learn some natural expressions from native speakers that you can use in your writing and in your speaking. And also remember, the more developed, the better the marks. Okay, so if you like more questions and answers on different topics, come back because there are new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching. Adiós y gracias.